Hi there. Today I'm going to answer comments posted in response to my E equals P square session. Opchidexio says, purchasing power? P is the result, not the cause. Wealth is not created by spending. I understand this to mean that the economy is not the mirror of purchasing power. I'd claim the opposite to illustrate the dramatic consequences of a loss of 145 billion in purchasing power caused by 2.5 million layoffs. I disagree respectfully, though I did not address the wealth issue for good reasons, one being that wealth was not able to save us from the current recession. Now, however, that Pandora's box has been opened, I'm going to demystify the Neanderthal notion of Stone Age macroeconomics that holds that P, purchasing power, is the result of wealth, W, alone. I have a severe intellectual problem with wishy-washy terms that make macroeconomics a highly inaccurate science. Wealth is one of them, especially where wealth alone is used to label purchase power. Let me define the term purchase power in terms even Joe the Carpenter understands. P, purchase power, equals I, income, plus C, credit, plus wealth. Ask yourself, does income represent purchase power? The answer is yes, at least in part. Does credit represent purchase power? The answer is, of course, yes. Does wealth, that is property and money in the bank, represent purchase power? The answer is, of course, yes. Except, of course, wealth is negatively affected by credit, which is better defined as debt. Now let's look at the effect credit had on the current state of the economy. Oops. It didn't, at least not substantial, as banks have cut their lending to consumers, small businesses and many large businesses dramatically. Next, let's look at what influence wealth had on the current state of the economy. Wealth? Can you hear me now? I guess that leaves income. Spending does not cause wealth? I beg to differ. And no, I don't mean that you get rich if you spend. What I'm saying is that by spending, you create the wealth of others, who in turn employ you, creating your wealth. This is circular. Now let's look at it closer. Say we have three entities, A, B, and C. Let's say A is a consumer who uses his purchase power to buy a car. His purchase power consists of his income, sufficient to make monthly payments of, say, $400. His credit, granted to him by his savings and loan bank, where he had an account for 5 years, consists, let's say, of $20,000. And his personal wealth, let's say $2,000 he had in his savings account. He pays to B the $22,000 for which he receives his car, let's say a hybrid. B, the car maker, deducts his expenses selling the car, then pays its suppliers C and keeps the difference as earnings, called wealth creation. C does the same. It pays its suppliers and deposits the leftover in its wealth account. You're going to hate what I'm about to say. So far, the buyer A generated wealth for B and C. Except that if he had bought a foreign car, even one manufactured in the United States, not all of the wealth created ends up in the US. Rather, it goes to foreign nations and therefore has no or little impact on the US economy. Please, I'm talking about the wealth portion, not the US workers or US suppliers portions, of course. The wealth shift to foreign nations becomes even more pronounced in another context. Imagine we let the US car maker go out of business and put 2.5 million on the unemployment list. Whatever little income they have now will be spent sparingly. Indeed, they may just consider going to Walmart and buying their goods there. Except that many, if not most, consumer goods sold at Walmart have been manufactured and are being bought from foreign corporations. Meaning, much of the remaining purchase power shifts to China or wherever. What I'm saying is this. If we do nothing, as the Herbert Hoover crowd in Area 51 is suggesting, we will not only have the most severe recession since the 1930s, we will have a more severe depression to boot. I need to correct myself. I have repeatedly said that Herbert Hoover did nothing. This is not quite correct. Unlike the current crowd, which does nothing, and no, I don't see giving 700 billion unconditional to banks as doing something. Hoover just simply didn't do enough. John Maynard Keynes suggested that voluntarism is crap and that government must intervene if needed strongly if the economy is in a recession. It is in a recession now, and we must avoid, come hell or high water, to lose more purchase power by laying off 2.5 million workers. Period. One theory of macroeconomics is the supply and demand theory. It goes like this. If prices fall, demand increases. Nice try if it comes to cars. What if the price of gasoline skyrockets and causes a recession because consumers must buy gas to drive to work and therefore have no purchase power to buy anything else? Remember, OPEC just decided to cut crude production by 2 million barrels a day. Does the term national security come to mind? And now I need to go to Walmart and buy some bread and jelly. I hope I see you soon. Thanks.